Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading session. The markets just opened up and they opened with a little bit of a opening gap this morning. We'll take a look here. This is on the NASDAQ with the Eagle. You can see that prices put in a very decent rally yesterday. Pretty much the entire session was on a move higher. Took a little while to shake the rust off. The first hour and a half of trading was a little subdued, but then once they settled on a direction, they just kept on going right into the close. Kind of quiet through the Asian and European session, but you can see fairly obviously we got an opening gap right here. So we've just opened up. We actually did get a sell signal here on the Eagle prior to the open, which you may have chosen to take a chance on, but I don't know. I can't help but wonder whether the buyers are really going to walk away from this strong trend from yesterday. You can see according to the trade forecaster, we're supposed to be in trend mode for almost an hour here this morning. So we'll see how that shapes up. Gold also trying to push a little bit higher, more or less sideways. Crude oil tailing off a few dollars, trading around 37.37 for May crude right now. So we'll just kind of let the dust settle here a little bit. Give me an opportunity to mention to you, because this week has been so convoluted because my data feed, that I'm going to be out of town for a couple of weeks beginning next week. So our trading room will be suspended for a couple of weeks. I don't think Adam has found somebody to substitute for me just yet, but give you guys a chance to practice on your own, and the room will resume again on April the 25th when I return. All right, so we've had that little bit of a breakout. Here we are coming in with a macro pullback signal. Now it's early. It's only a couple minutes into the session. You may choose to give this a try in case the bears actually do have control of this market. The deal is you're going to have to risk it way above the top end of this trading range. Or you may choose just to let it go. Here is the macro pullback. I'm going to give it a try. See if we can actually break lower here. I'd like to get a couple of bars in my favor, or at least one bar in my favor, and then I can become much more aggressive with my stop. In fact, I think I'm going to get that ready. No, parabolics won't do it. We'll go with the bar high-low, and we'll go in a couple bars back. So I'm not panicking just yet, and it would even be all right if they took out this little swing high. If we are in a trading range, we can anticipate the sellers are going to start stepping in here as prices get a little bit higher. Okay, now we've got a green bar sell. This is pretty much our last chance to recover this trend. That green bar sell now drifting into yellow bars, which would nix the green bar sell attempt. And again, this is very early. This is, just kind of dipping your toe in the water, see which way the wind is blowing. I don't know if there's any other cliches I can draw on. All right, so it looks as though we do have a little bit of a recommitment here. I'm going to activate my stop. And again, this is all very, oops, I don't want that. Oh, shoot, I didn't want to just then. Darn it, I want to hold my stop above this high. Well, let's see if that still works out. So our stop would have been above the high. I forgot the bar high-low rolls it very, very fast. And no, it looks like I would have got tagged regardless. Couple of green bar sells here, so the market's still drifting. It was worth kind of poking your toe in the water, like I said, just to see what's there. We incurred a small loss. It was worth an attempt, though. So right now we're still in a sideways drift. Good morning, Jim. Jim providing us with some advanced decline numbers. We've got 550 on the buy and just over 2,000 on the sell. But that opening gap is going to skew those sell numbers, remember. But that's kind of our starting point. A negative 1450, give or take. All right, a possible trend change developing here in the Falcon. Possible first micro-macro cross higher. Now the first, or the macro pullback, did the first micro-macro cross work out, or did it come up short? There's the first micro-macro cross lower. No, that hit its profit objective. So we actually are seeing the market pay off to the short side. This is a first micro-macro cross signal. Oh, not anymore. We're now into yellow bars. Looks like the advanced decline changing rather quickly. Got 750 on the buy now and 1850 on the sell. We may be sitting here for a few minutes. Oh, no, the hawk, or pardon me, the falcon getting a little stronger as well. Starting to produce that warning dot. Now, this is something I don't like to do. See, we've got this trading range. What do I always tell you about trading ranges? Let it break out, let it retest, look for the signal. We are producing a warning dot here. If we're going to move higher, we're going to produce a buy signal right near the top end of this trading range. Oh, doggone it. There they go too. They're gonna try to produce a signal here. Now with the gap above the market, that may be justification to try to buy it. Can I risk it below the low? Oh, I can. This is not what I would consider a quality signal though. See, we had a comparable trend change signal right here, and what happened? They got squished by the sellers. So here come the buyers again, putting in a buy. Are they going to get squished by the sellers again? Sometimes it's not worth trying to catch the early breakout. We've got a rather large trading range from yesterday. And currently we're trading more or less in the middle of yesterday's range. And of course that means the market is fairly content where it's at. Technically we're bouncing off of the primary support. I would very much like to see this bar reverse and head lower and remove all temptation to buy, at least until we got maybe another retest down here and another swing up, something showing me maybe a higher low. There we go. I can cancel that order now. Okay, here comes our another attempt at the trend change signal. Now if we come out of here with a buy signal, that I might be able to get behind, especially if the buyers get in here a little bit early. All right, it's starting to shape up a little better. Perhaps a hint that the institutions are going to honor this support zone. Nothing yet, just a greenish bar. All right, I thought that would unfold a little faster. We'll put it away. We're essentially looking for our test of the extreme, our retest of the low, the failure, the hint that perhaps the market will rally. Jim said the DAX is selling off a little bit, but so far it doesn't seem to be influencing the NASDAQ all that much. Everybody kind of holding steady for the most part. Crude oil kind of taking its time. Gold, here's gold. You can see we got the same sideways drift. Not much commitment. Kind of a bullish session for gold. Gold opened back here, 520 Pacific, and put in a little bit of a rally, but really kind of a waffling kind of day. Back and forth. Not a fun day to trade. All right, here comes the Falcon with those warning dots again. Oop, warning dot disappeared. It's still early. Jim says the DAX is looking rather bullish on a 5-minute chart. You got to watch those long-tailed candles though, Jim. Sometimes those are sucker candles. to entice everybody to buy. Yeah, they're just kind of hovering. Give you a chance to check your emails, maybe pull out your guitar or harmonica. Doodle. I think it's important not to take a trade out of boredom. All right, here we go. We're getting a red bar buy, kind of conflicting signals. Here on the Eagle, we've come back with a green bar sell. We're against the ATR, again into the bottom end of the trading range, not giving me a warm, fuzzy feeling. This would have become our signal bar. We would have been short, oh, right there, and it looks as though this breakout maybe, oh, maybe I'm too early suggesting that breakout's going to hold. We got a red bar buy, or sorry, a first micro macro cross here on the hawk. This is again, you know, it's a tough one. Where do you set this one up? Ideally, you probably want to put your stops back here to the macro line. Once more, we're at the bottom end of the trading range, making this kind of a tough spot to get in. And this is the type of trade, if I waited until we breach the bottom end of the trading range, you can see I'm giving up almost 3/4 of my profit objective just to gain entry. So that doesn't make sense either. But to short this first micro macro cross, you really, really do need to keep a deep stop. Again, consider the context, right? Consider what has gone before. Look at, we're moving sideways. Do I want to go crazy and start shorting the market because we took out the low? Maybe not. Much easier to trust those first micro macro crosses when the market is flowing a little bit more. I'm not saying this first micro macro cross isn't going to work out. It very likely will. You know, it's a very high probability trade. I'm just saying be prepared to take a little bit of heat if you're taking that trade. Okay, so it's starting to look as though we do have a bit of a downtrend, or an attempt at a downtrend established today. While we're waiting for things to kind of flow, I'm going to show something here to you guys. If you trade end of day, or you have an opportunity to trade a time chart or a tick chart or whatever, Jim just commented. He says you were right. That was a sucker candle, and I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like. So that was a 5-minute DAX chart he was watching. Oops. What happened? All right. So here's a 5-minute chart. And every once in a while, you're going to get these bars that look like this, right? Really long tail. Looks like there's tons of support down here. And what happens? You try to buy above it and then squish. So don't necessarily trust these to lead you into a counter trend situation. In fact, I love to see these with trend, knowing that there's going to be a lot of people trying to buy it up, a lot of bulls get in there, try to buy it up, and then they get hammered. You can see here on the time chart, though, we've got a bit of a trading range here also, and every time the market's hitting the bottom end of the trading range, look at what's happening. It's starting to find some buying pressure, right? Some buying support. So what do you think the chances are it's going to run to the top end of the trading range? We're seeing almost the same thing here in the NQ. It's a little bit more downward bias, but here too, you know, we've got the sideways range, we've got the little bit of congestion, the overlap, and now the buyers are starting to dig in. We got our signal early, this green bar sell. Actually, in hindsight, this green bar sell wasn't such a bad attempt if I had taken it earlier. It's a fairly tight little trading range that we're dealing with here, so there's not really a lot of room to profit or do anything with my stops before I get to the bottom end of the range. But if I chose to be more aggressive and take the entry right on the hash mark, I could cover up here, especially if I went with a onesie, it wouldn't have been so bad. And I could look for at least a violation of or a retest of the lows here. In this case, it did break out. And if I had taken it on the hash mark, we actually would have reached our high probability target. So not such a bad looking trade in that we were shorting from the top end of the range, which is where you want to sell. It would have looked much better to me had the range been maybe yay deep, right? Where I can say, yeah, okay, I've actually got some room here to get down to the bottom end. I get my stops to break even or do whatever if the range were wider. But unfortunately, it was a fairly cozy looking trading range, not much room in there, even though the seller's doing a pretty good job pushing it down even that little bit. Now that we're kind of flatlining again, that does make me suspicious that perhaps we are at the bottom end of the trading range. I've got my eye here on the Raptor for a soft edge buy, and I may attempt that. We are likely to see an early trend change signal here on the Falcon, and we're likely to see a failure of a macro pullback signal or perhaps a failure of a green bar sell if you wanted to wait for that. So here we go. I got my eye here on the Raptor, waiting for that soft edge buy signal, which, come on, should have been printing for me. Soft edge buy. Stinkers. Oh, there it is, soft edge buy. All right, so we filled the soft edge buy. Everything, all the parameters are in play. We're gonna get a stop going. I'm gonna hold my stop there. And in fact, I might even place my stop a little bit deeper. This is certainly a little bit more aggressive posture, trying to buy the market up. And I'm going to do my best to be very conservative with my stops here. To give this trade every opportunity to reverse and head higher. We obviously have some selling pressure going on here. Looks like we have a little bit of a lack of follow through. A good hard edge bounce here. That came a few moments after the open. So the market rallied into the top edge of the trading band, came out with a sell signal. Now what I'm hoping is that we're going to get back to the top end of this trading range, maybe even to this morning's highs. That would be ideal. But the buyer's got to get with it here. Come on, let's see the buyers make that swing. Gold's still really stagnant this morning, as is crude oil. Just everybody's moving in a sideways trading range today, which is going to make for difficult trading. Okay, here's that green bar sell that we were talking about in the Hawk, that you could look to buy the failure of it. And if we swing right there, that would be a good spot probably to cover. Although normally when I do these types of trades, I do like to cover it right down there below the low. Kind of the same situation as what we're doing with the Raptor, more or less. And almost working on a first micro macro cross, and working on a trend change signal here on the Falcon as well. So a couple of opportunities. This current high here at 45.08-ish is the deal breaker. All right, so we can put the Falcon away because our trend line has flip-flopped again. We can leave the Hawk trade in play if you want. Oh yeah, we got a trading range going on here today, folks. Oh, now we're getting a sell signal, or working on a sell signal. First micro macro cross lower. All right, now normally I don't like to conflict my signals. You know, if I'm long, I'll leave the trade alone. I won't start looking for short signals. Oh, thank goodness the Hawk trade went into yellow bars. All right, and here we come with yet another green bar sell and maybe another attempt to short it. There's the old green bar sell failure that we had in play initially. Doggone it, you guys. Is that all you're going to give me? Jim says the 15-minute DAX now is showing a long tail. Is that a sucker play? Well, hold on a second here, my friend. Let me build a 15-minute chart for the DAX and we'll take a look. I'm guessing no. And the reason is we're kind of at the bottom end of the range now, right? So bottom end of the range, the selling is drawing up. I think it was a little bit more obvious on the 5, where this one, this green bar was all bull, right? Market drove down, buyers bought it right up almost into the close. So it was looking very, very bullish. That's kind of a sucker bar. You've obviously got a bit of a downtrend or a sideways trade to deal with. And then the sellers come back, but then what happens to the sellers? There's no follow through, which makes you think, oh, okay, now we're going to see a little bit of a rally to the upside. And that's what they're dealing with right now. Buyers are aggressively buying. In fact, we got a first micro macro cross to the upside now, which actually gave us a better fill than the failure of the green bar sell. So buyers are aggressively buying. They want to see the market back up here at 96.60. Sellers, well, they tried to aggressively sell here, but it looks like it's not going to hold. Now, if we take a look at that on a 15-minute chart, we kind of got big selling attempt, little selling attempt, little selling attempt. Well, you can almost see the momentum, the downside momentum waning, at least for the short term. Right? Look at what happens whenever a market gets out of a trading range. Big move up, right? And then it comes down. Another move up. Trading range. Big move down. Another move down. Another move down. And now all of a sudden it's like, what happened to all the selling? So no, I would not be surprised. I would be a little bit more bullish on this. Of course, if it breaks the low, all bets are off. But I would not be surprised to see it try to get up here. Certainly to 96.50, maybe 96.60. That's my guesstimate anyways. All right, so the first micro macro cross signal, actually quality signal here, like I say, better fill than we got on the failure of the green bar sell. if you did not consider that the first micro-macro cross because the macro line was still grayed out when your warning dot printed, then this would be your first micro-macro cross and you're waiting for your signal, which just engaged. Now, I probably would, well, we're almost going to hit the break even. Where are the parabolics at here? I don't know if I want to get that aggressive with this market. What about the ATR? Maybe we'll dial back the ATR just a little bit. Go with that as our stop. I don't think it's necessary to leave all that on the table. At least I'm hoping not. Sideways markets are tough. There's no question about it. So this whole 45.09, 45.10 area giving us some heat. Come on, get up there. I think I'm only going to give these guys the same. I think we're going to bring our stops in as so. There we go. So we hit our profit. Target hit our break even on the Raptor here. The Hawk hit its profit objective. I heard the trade close out. Hooray! So quick little scalp in that one. And now let's see if we can catch a little bit of momentum to the upside. And ideally, we're going to get to the top end of today's range, which is going to see the market trade around 45.17, 45.18. And I do believe we have a median or a support line there. 45.16 is the support line. All right, time to get more aggressive with these stops. I'm going to turn to the parabolics. Yeah, Angelo, I agree. Angelo says it's a hard market to trade heavy today. I think so. I think so too. This is the type of day you're going to feel better. You go in with onesie twosie types of stuff. Don't leverage the farm. There's very likely a breakout coming, and you're going to kick yourself afterwards, but it might take you a little while to find it. So better to hang on. Working a cloud crossover here. I don't know if we'll be able to ride out this little bit of a swing, as prices may try to drift deeper into this cloud looking for support before the next buying leg. Yeah, Jim says, geez, finally 20 ticks on 2 contracts on 2 accounts. I'm gonna get some chickens to smoke, he says. The YM apparently, Jim says, hit the upper trend line for those of you following the mini Dow. Here's the mini Dow on the Raptor. And I suppose you could draw a channel like this, or you probably shot your trend line like so, or like so. Hold on. That would look like a pretty good channel. Certainly getting very, very close to that upper end. Does look as though it's getting a little bit more bullish, though. We're starting to get those higher swings. We're starting to get that cloud crossover. Technically, we're still in the sideways range, though, so don't get too crazy on the buy side. All right, the market stopped us out for a little bit of extra profit on that second contract. You know, there's a situation where people always ask, well, Eric, I see you do runners. Should I be doing a runner? Well, had I gone all in, all out, I would have got $200 instead of $140. So I think all in, all out is the way to go. I show a runner here on the Raptor sometimes just to show you how to manage a running trade. But I guess ultimately, you know, the choice is yours. If you feel better about trading with a runner, then by all means, stay with the runner. So here comes the Eagle now with another green bar sell. We've got a red bar buy, which may fail. Ay, what a mess here today. Yeah, good comment here from Tony. Tony says, I was scalping 4 contracts with 3 out and 1 runner. Over time, it was proven that all in, all out with 4 contracts was more profitable. And I would have to agree with that. Occasionally, you miss the big move and you feel bad about it. Yeah, Jim says I'd rather get out and re-enter. Jim says I've got a difficult time managing a runner. The whole thing with doing a runner is you really got to watch the market flow. You got to try to get a feel for the pulse, right? So when prices are hesitating and then they regain, you think, okay, well, if my stop was down here actually we can. So we bought here and prices, or did we buy here? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Let's say we bought here, prices start to rally, they make this little itty-bitty swing. And now we see the market starting to move against us a little bit, but we know we're kind of sideways, right? So whenever the market's sideways, you really need to be gentle with your stops. You don't want to be too aggressive. So then the market gives me a couple of bars in my favor. At that point, I'm thinking, all right, time to roll in the stops. If this rally fails, this little 2-bar rally that we have, if that fails, then this is probably a good spot to get out. Or I'm close enough to break even that maybe I'll consider taking the trade to break even. Say, you know, okay, that's all I'm going to give it. If it reverses and stops me out, so be it. And as it happens, the market starts to go a little bit higher. Well, at this point, again, it's decision time, right? Do I want to leave my trade back here at break even? I've probably got an extra $100 in open profit there. So do I want to be more aggressive with my stops? Well, at this point, I think yes. We're into the hard edge of the cloud. We're relatively close to the high. Not quite as high as I would have hoped. I would have 45.17 would have been a no-brainer. to bring the stops in really tight. But we're getting close enough that the sellers are going to start to get more aggressive, and that's what we see here. Now, the thing is, when you get one bearish bar, you're probably going to get two. And if I flip over the chart and I say, you know, gee, I got an extra $150 or 100 and change in open profit. If that is dear to me, then yeah, roll the stop in there. If you don't care about losing that open profit, then leave your stop at break even and see if you can ride out the next swing. So, you know, trading is a very personal business. At the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is your own. Mine doesn't matter. MSNBC's doesn't matter. Jim Cramer's doesn't matter. Nobody's opinion matters but yours. So like I say, if that extra 100 and change is dear to you, or you think that the market is starting to show some active selling near the highs, go ahead, get those stops in there, or just close the trade out entirely. As it turns out, you never got another chance to swing or adjust your stops. So at worst, you would have got stop break even on the remainder. At best, you would have stopped out here as the market started to turn. I chose to go with the parabolics, so I got stopped, you know, a little bit there. I just let the stop strategy manage my trade, knowing I was using a more aggressive strategy. But that's really, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to managing a runner, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for, are the buyers starting to lose their grip? Are the sellers starting to get stronger? We all know where the sellers are going to step in, right? They're going to, especially in a sideways range, they're going to try to sell the top end of the range, certainly the top third of the range. And the buyers, well, the buyers are going to try to buy the bottom third of the range. Let's see if we get any buying going on. Oh, look at that. What a surprise. And then all of a sudden, what happened to the buyers? The buyers lose their grip. Here come the sellers. Yes, it's the bottom end of the range, but the buyers seem to have exhausted themselves, right? The buyers tried to rally here. The sellers moved them down very quickly. And so here we have a sell signal. This would be a reasonable short. Clouds tried to cross over, couldn't hold. You could even say this is a cloud crossover going the other way, a cloud crossover now to the short side. And then here was the buying attempt. Here's your sell signal. That's a decent sell signal. And there you go. That's where we're at. That is one advantage with day trading over end of day trading, is you get a much better feel for the market flow. I get a feeling, Tony, you're a bit of a comedian here. Yeah. Regarding my Jim Cramer comment, Tony says, Cramer doesn't matter, stop the world. He's a good showman. And he's not a dumb man by any stretch. But really, like I say, it's your money. Yours is the only opinion that matters. And there's always going to be, you know, when the market is congested like this, it's always going to be a gamble. There's no way around it. Here's a green bar sell right there. It's a quality signal. Are we bouncing off of any trend lines or anything? No. In fact, you could even say we broke a trend line, so that's not looking very bearish. This is a quality signal. We know it's a high probability signal. This is why I always say you got to try to focus on the probabilities and just use your tools. It amazes me, even to this day, and I've been using the DTS system for years now, how the tools actually can read the market pressures behind the scenes. And so here's a quality signal. This does not look bearish to me. I have to be honest. I'm looking at this. All I see is a trading range. I'm expecting a sideways drift. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a lower low here, but I would not be the least bit surprised to see prices come down and then bounce and head back into this trading range. My bars are a little drunk there. They're all listing. But this does not look bearish to me, and yet the DTS, here's the eagle saying, no, this is bearish. We've got a quality sell signal. Go ahead, short it. And boom, down she goes. But things are starting to slow again. And we did okay. We took our little share, our little slice. Don't want to be too counter trend. Good trend change signal here on the Falcon. Great first micro macro cross here on the Hawk. All kind of in sync with that green bar sell, which is encouraging. Those are always fun to take when everything is lining up, when the stars align, the planets align. And now we're just kind of stuck. Yeah, here's the YM. The YM also in a sideways drift, more or less. You can see the morning high and low of the opening range. We got above for a little bit. Now we're taxing the lower end. Look at what a mess gold is. Here's gold on the Hawk. Gee, I wonder if that's a choppy market. I wonder if that market's moving sideways. Getting some buying pressure coming back here. You see all these warning dots here on the Falcon? We actually have a signal in the Falcon called the double dot entry. I don't point it out very often because it is a counter trend signal, and I really don't want you looking for counter trend trades. It's so easy to lose money trading counter trend. with the double dot signal, you always want to tie it in with nearby, in this case, support. So we're going to shoot a line here, and we're going to go back, and we're going to see how far do we have to go to find some support there. Ooh, looks like too far. Got to go at least into yesterday. Oh, shoot, there. And there's no support. There's nothing there to suggest support. Normally with those double dot entries, I would have liked to have seen, a swing here, and then prices go up, and then you can look at it and you can say, oh, look at that. Prices came down here, and they produced this type of reaction. I'm producing a double dot signal. Maybe I'll buy it. And this is the kind of situation, because it's counter trend, you really just want to go in with a onesie. The nice thing is you can keep your risk relatively tight, and you've got a great place to put your stop. Right? So you can do it for, in this case, it'll cost you a little over $100 to find out you're wrong. Oh, serious sideways drift. 1, 2, 3. Working on a 4-arrow consolidation here in the hawk. Aye. Oh baby, come on. What are you going to do here? So, 4-arrow consolidation, a little bit of a sideways one. We're going to try to sim this if they give me a chance. No, they're not going to. Oh, shoot, I thought I could sneak it in there. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to simulate this order for you. Obviously, I was too late on the signal, but it looks like it got down there and hit its profit objective, or is kissing the profit objective. Certainly hit the break even, which always takes a little bit of heat off. Excuse me. Notice the width on some of these bars here. We're seeing a lot of trading going on. Don't really know which way who's going to take control, but definitely some volume going through there. All right, and that 4-arrow consolidation managed to press lower. So that, I suppose you could have also traded this as a macro pullback. You see your micro line went out of sync here just for a little bit. And it did have that 4-arrow consolidation, that little telltale bear flag type shape to it, which is what we like to see. Well, here we are at the bottom of the hour. Very often when the market has had a trend, a discernible trend, at the bottom of the hour, about an hour into trading, we will see some sort of reversal against the trend. Not much going on here at the moment. Crude oil also declined with the fall off here on the stock market a little bit. Gold still moving sideways. Do-do-do. Not much going on here. Working another macro pullback signal here, but honestly with the downward momentum kind of dried up, we might see a little bit of an uptick. Oh, that's terrible, Tony. Tony says, trying to make conversation here. Tony says, pump prices for gas in Kansas City, Kansas, $1.89 a gallon. That's crazy, Tony. Let's see, what are we paying here now? $1.02 a liter? Yeah, Tony says, but our Canadian gas is full of good stuff, eh? All right, we're seeing a little bit of a sideways drift now. Well, more sideways drift after a little bit of a run lower. Doggone it, if we didn't have to get this late filter entry signal. I'm not real keen on this one, but here we go. Late filter entry, I would take it on a second push on the signal, probably cover up there, and you know what? I would go in with a onesie because I'm almost thinking reversal. Not full-on reversal, more in the pullback reversal flavor. Oh, well, they're trying. We're almost, there we go. So now we're into a green trend line. I can cancel my late filter entry signal. We're into yellow bars here on the hawk. Okay, they're trying. They're trying to put in a little bit of a rally. We got another sideways range here.
Wow. So we came back with another late filter entry signal right here. Notice the trend line never went out of sync. And I'm sorry, I was a little bit late on this one. I suppose I should have left my order in play. I was looking elsewhere and missed that. They're trying to get down there, but all right. Well, still got the downward drift. Gee, what a quiet day. A couple decent moves, but really for the most part, we've just kind of been waiting, sitting and waiting. So that late filter entry signal here just hit its profit target. Did get low. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. Just hovering above the profit target. Low enough to hit the break-even trigger if you're running one, but just kind of making you sweat a little bit more. All right, here we go. We're getting a green bar sell, trend change, a possible trend change here on the Falcon. We did get an early signal here, technically a soft edge buy on the Raptor. Nothing really preceding it as far as a test of the extreme, so not my ideal signal. Here we are at the top end of the trading range. We would anticipate this to head a little bit lower. I know we've been talking a lot about trading ranges today, haven't we? We don't have a signal yet. I just have the warning dot. Come on, give me that signal. Come on. Oh man, they're dragging it out. There we go. All right. So there's the green bar sell. I'm setting up for the green bar sell failure. Well, Jim says the transports are going vertical, so let's see whether that drifts over into the stock index. And what I'll do is I may try to actually run this one out. Well, it's sure taken a while here to unravel, but I do think that we're going to see a little bit of an uptick. And maybe not. All right, you guys, we might button up the room for today. We'll be back again tomorrow. And just a reminder, after that, we're going to have a 2-week break, at which time the room will resume again at the end of April. Be careful out there. It's a funny kind of day today, but I do think we may still see a little bit of an uptick. Obviously the trend is down. I would be cautiously bullish and maybe optimistically bearish. All right, talk to you later. Bye for now.